So today I'm gonna be talking about this concept of you never quit RuneScape, you just take breaks. Hi, Zepa here. I feel like this mentality has been with me since I started playing the game, all the way back from 2006. As we all know, the game can be really tiring, it's super easy to burn out, it's very rough to keep grinding day after day. If you think about the grinds that were back in 2007, when it was still RuneScape 2, the grinds were not even nearly as large as the grinds that are today with stuff like raids, nightmare, you know, you name it. Even to add fuel to the fire, it's the Ironman mode, which has made everything just exponentially harder. Places like Nex can just be excruciating. You can be there for every day for a year and just have duplicates over duplicates over duplicates and still missing something like the Torva legs. This is an example of a friend I had who did over 3000 KC or whatever and was missing the legs, which is very sad to see. But at the same time, I feel like the beauty of the game is that you can just go away and come back to it. Just pick up where you left off and keep going, even though you take a year off. And most of the time, when you compare Oldschool Runescape or RuneScape in general to other MMOs like World of Warcraft, you can so easily see the progress you've done. Let's say you get 95 Slayer and you have access to every single Slayer monster. Even though you take a 2-year break, you will still be 95 Slayer and just keep going from there. And also if you're trying to do like an insane grind, let's say Ironman tries to complete the Corporeal Beast log, which is notorious for being like thousands of hours or something, it's so easy to burn out. And once you accomplish that and the next grind you take is even worse, or not worse but longer, it's gonna be mentally rough unless you really enjoy the grinding aspect of the game. Personally, after the leagues ended, I really had a rough time coming back to the normal game and grinding it all over again, as I went pretty hard on the leagues. I'll make a separate video about my Leagues 4 journey, so I'll talk about it more then. If you grind it to the late game in the league, and after league ends and you've given it your all, and you have to go back to normal drop rates rather than the 5 times drop rates, yeah, it's not for the faint of heart by any means. So I totally get why people burn out after leagues. That's happened to me. I think after every league I've been very non-motivated to play, non-motivated to take on new challenges, and I've been just AFKing or just simply not logging in. Also, one of the big problems that people face is when they come back to the game and they see like all their friends who were grinding the same content as they were before the break. When they come back, they see the friends have progressed beyond the content. Let's say you're doing TOA and you're an Ironman like I am, and your friends are Ironman as well, and they have a completed log in the time when you were away from the game. It might be kind of hard to go back to the TOA and find new people to raid with or just keep doing solo, but you can turn it to be like a good thing and just find new people to raid with. Maybe take a learner, show them how it's done, and find your passion that way. I haven't had a game where I take as many breaks as I have from RuneScape, Oldschool Runescape especially, but once you come back, it's so easy to just get back into it and just pick off from where you left off. Especially with new content updates, they are a great place to get started with like getting new motivation to play. I usually just watch like a solo mission video or something. I see him doing like the craziest, newest updates and I'm hooked. I'm like, okay, I have to log back in. I want to try this. The same happened now with the Colosseum. Varlamore looks so incredibly good. I haven't had time to test it yet. That's what got me back into old school, now that I took a small break after Leagues 4. And also just skipping content with the new updates is super amazing. I think that's one of the best parts. If you take a break and you were burnt out on grinding thieving, for example, and now you come back with Varlamore, there was like an AFK thieving method that was good XP per hour. That's the perfect place to come back and just get the tedious grind out of the way and just get it easier and not burn out as hard as you did before stepping out of the game. So I think Jagex is making great progress with the updates and just making it super nice to come back to the game once you've had a break. Even though new grinds that are coming are very much on the long side, very hard content, mechanics are getting harder and harder each time they update something new. The drop rates are in general just more hours, like the DT2 bosses. I had to do like 1900 Vardorvis to get the ring and the axe piece, and that felt like an eternity. Same with Duke. I think I went like 1.3k KC before I got the axe piece and the vestige. Yeah, new grinds are pretty horrendous sometimes. What I would like to say is just enjoy the content you feel like doing. If something sparks inspiration when you come back to the game, just do that. If you want to do PvP, go do PvP. If you feel like you want to learn this new boss, just go and do it. Play the content you want to play, enjoy it, just play for yourself. The game is not going anywhere. Every piece of content grants you more GP, more resources, and teaches you how to play the game better. I don't think there's like anything wrong in doing like the not so optimal route. You should just enjoy yourself, have a good time. You want to do solo content? Grind solo bosses. Do you want to do group content? Go find a team. Can't find a team? Join a clan. Not a single person has done the exactly same path as another. Every single account will be a different journey. There's only a very small minority that is competing with the top ranks, and this video is by no means aimed towards them, because those people are not taking long breaks and coming back, and even if they're struggling with the motivation, they are still getting consistent hours in every day because they're competing with the top ranks. And there are some crazy people who are doing this, especially with like 200 mil all stats, and you know, like Mats, who pretty much cleared the whole game as a hardcore Ironman with Blood Torva and the Zac helm and everything. That's just insanity. But yeah, for most of us, I think it's important to remember that this is not a competition. You don't need to have the new best in slot item. Even though a twisted bow would be a sick weapon to do a bunch of stuff with, you'll be fine with the Bofa for most of the stuff. Well, maybe Bofa is a bit too expensive. You will be fine with like a blowpipe for 80% of the stuff. Also, having new updates, new items coming into the game mean that you don't have to grind those old tedious items that much anymore. You can just take like the sweet spot alternative, like the new zombie axe. I haven't had chance to try it yet, but it seems to be a pretty good slash weapon for mid to late game Ironman who are trying to do like their early late game content. And updates like those will just give you such a nice pathway to late game to getting the best of the best items. No matter how long your break is, there's always time to come back to the game and keep going where you left off. Also, I have to mention that there's so much better guides now than there was like, let's say 6 years ago. So the guides, the methods, the gear, the price of gear, everything is working for you rather than against you. So I would just say, if you have even the slightest feeling of maybe I should come back to Oldschool Runescape, you should. Thanks for watching. Zepa out.